On Papa's These Bees, we're going to do something a little bit different. You know, as we've said in the past, and hopefully everybody knows, we're hobby beekeepers. We're not commercial. We're not even sideliners. We have a total of 3 production type hives and then a resource nucleus hive. And one of the things by being a hobby beekeeper, it allows us to try out things, to test things. Flow hive is a good example. That's not the run-of-the-mill beehive, but it's something unusual and something that we want to try to do to help the bees. So today we're going to unbox something new that we're going to try, and we'll be right back to it. So we're going to open this thing up live, kind of just, not knowing what all to expect in here. I have watched a lot of videos, so I know pretty much what to expect, but it's just something that I want to, just kind of make it kind of open and as we try to be open and frank with everything that we do. Apimaye, as you can probably tell by looking at this, is a plastic hive. Okay, so this is the Apimaye. This is the back of the hive, or the area where we will kind of approach the hive, and this is the front. So kind of a one word, when we talk about the front of a hive, that's always the direction in which the bees leave. You might normally think, well, the front of the hive is the front part facing me. Well, that's not the case. Referencing, it's just, again, it's what direction the bees are faced is actually the front. One of the things about the Apimaye that I really like is that it latches together. That way you won't need to worry about blowing apart, especially if you stack them up, because each of the pieces, and we'll open up some more pieces here as well. But the Apimaye is plastic, but it's heavily insulated interior, and that's why I wanted to try it in our resource nuc, because it's something that is smaller and as far as the volume of bees, and this will help us kind of interact with it. One of the things that you have on top of the Apimaye hives is a feeder. It's a couple of feeders actually. You can feed either liquid, which you can turn them this direction and the bees can get to the liquid. It's called the syrup end. And this is if you want to feed like fondant, we'll use Hive Alive fondant. This way, this lets the bees out, so with the fondant in here, and the bees can get out and get to it. So there's 2 of these feeders that come with the hive. So again, either side, and then you put the cover back on it and place it on top of the hive, and then the cover of the hive itself will actually cover this up and keep this relatively warm, or at least based on what the bees are. Now, one of the things that I've noticed, and that Fred Dunn had actually identified earlier, is these are actually vent holes. And in his instances where he's used the Apimaye hives, the bees have gone in and propolised these, or used it's a material that bees create to cover up holes or something such as that, and it's basically sap and things from trees and other large plants that they consume and then bring it back to the hive, and it's almost like a glue, but it does allow them to cover up holes that they don't want open, which in this case would be these vent holes here. In fact, propolis is again what it's called, and propolis is a highly antibiotic material that the bees will put on the inside of the hive a lot of times, if especially in wood hives or in hives in the wild, and it's something that even humans can use to help with certain diseases. Then we've got the base on here, and one of the neat things on the front here, you can close down or open up parts of the, again, the bees can come out here, but nothing larger can get in, which is nice. Or you can close up one of them or leave them both open. Another thing you can do, And one of the things that came with it is a divider. And rather than this is a 7-frame nucleus. If you were a queen rearer and you produce queens and you wanted to have a small box where you could put small queens in, you can put this divider piece in the middle here, and then you can have 3 frames on either side of it. And this will allow you to shut down on the space. That's not what we're going to do with it. We're not queen raisers. We'll let our bees rear queens if they need them. So if you had the divider down the middle here, you would want to make sure you had both sides open. You also have some places here that you can open, allow the bees to come in. You've got a full close in that position. You've got a kind of a queen excluder thing here. The bees can come in and out of that tiny hole, but the queen can't. Full open, and then just a ventilated setting. And again, both of these are utilize that. So, and then on the back of the hive, you have like these settings where you can vent them or whatever. Then there's an area back here in the back, this tray that you can use to clean out things. If you want to, because there's holes in the bottom of the hive in here, in there, all the detritus and hopefully mites and anything like that the bees take care of will fall down into that tray, and then you can clean this out without having to disturb the bees. That's kind of neat so far. To go along with this, because our resource nucs grow so well, expand and really have a lot of bees in them, just a single nuc like that would not be enough. So what we also ordered is another brood box, or just another box like the lower box here. Again, this will set up on top when you use it. It's really no different than the other, except that it doesn't have any way for the bees to come out of the bottom, because again, that's on the bottom board here. But this will set up on top here like this, and then you can latch it again to keep the hive locked down and in place. There's 2 settings there. There's an upper and a lower, and you block that in. That'll keep from going over, as well as then this has a lock for the top. So that piece is kind of nice. Another thing that I wanted to get was because these bees do so well. Normally in our resource nucs in the past that we've had, including one we have now, we just have 2 deep boxes, and in the spring they fill up so much that I thought, well, I'm going to get, just because it's an extraction solution, I'm going to get a medium super here. So just medium Langstroth frames will fit in here, just like deep Langstroth frames will fit here. So again, this would stack up here, and we're all going to use that in the spring. And then of course your lid will go on top. So we're really excited about trying this. We'll have a video later where we'll move the resource nuc out of the wooden box that they're in and put them in here, and we'll put that out later. But I just kind of wanted to do something different again and show this hive as we unboxed it. You saw it as just as I did, and anyway, I'm excited about using it. I think it'll really help because it's heavily insulated. So we don't get a lot of cold weather in northeastern Oklahoma, but when we do, it can get really cold for several days. So this will help keep them warm and hopefully allow them to make it more easily through the winter. So I'll put some information in attached to the video on what Apimaye is, how you can find out more about Apimaye. I really would ask that you read up on them if you're considering just a hive that you want to have insulated. This is so much better than having to insulate them yourselves, because this stuff is done properly. These things are made, I believe they're made in the United States. They come from Arizona. The family that has the company was Hive Life last year, and I know they'll be at the North American Bee Conference this year. So you can find out more about them on their website, which I'll put in the link, and then come back and watch us as we move our bees into it. Thanks.